Okay, we are officially recording. Welcome back to the Vendetta Sports Fantasy Show. Today is Friday, June 19th. We are recording this at night. Episode 7, I believe. 8, I don't know.
I think it's 8. I think we're on 8.
It's an episode.
It's an episode for sure.
That's all you need to know. It's an episode. That's what we're going with.
We have Chad Bauman in the house today, along with Alex Chick and myself, Trey Daubert. Make sure to follow them on Twitter, LOLFWTED for Chad, Chick's Tape Pod for Alex, and Trey Daubert, exactly how it sounds, myself. Check out the website, media_vendetta, and vendettasportsmedia.com. Chad, Alex, how's it going today?
That's good.
Can't complain.
Nah,
Probably going to buy a car tomorrow, so. Maybe, I don't know.
Money moves out here.
Well, I wanted to open up the show with a little bit of a rant because this one's not necessarily a rant. I just wanted Chad's opinion because he has not weighed in on this. And I told this story in the last episode, or 2 episodes ago, that I watched a thing, or was going to, but saw that it was titled this, so I didn't. It is insulting to my intelligence, to Alex's intelligence, to Chad's intelligence, to every person that plays fantasy football's intelligence, to put out an episode titled Mock Draft for Snake Drafts. If you can't figure out what to do in a snake draft when there's a computer on the side telling you who to maybe pick, we don't need an episode for this. That's nonsense. So, Chad, I would like you to weigh in on how dog shit it would be for any site or any company to put out a snake mock draft episode.
I do think it's like I've never personally done a mock draft for a snake draft. I think
that's embarrassing.
For the most part, you do kind of know like this guy's going here, he's going to go here. Like Christian McCaffrey's going in the top 5. You know, most people are probably going to try to pick up their quarterback either at the end of the first, that end of that first round, maybe in the early second round, you might get lucky and there's no quarterbacks off the board. You pretty much know what's going to happen. I won't say they have zero merit. Like if you're an experienced fantasy player, you're not wasting your time with this mock snake draft. But like maybe if it's like your first year playing fantasy, you're like, oh fuck, I don't know what to do. How does this work? Who am I picking? But then like that if it's like your first year, you're probably going to end up in a league where it's like 9% of the teams are like auto drafted, and that guy's the one that wins the league.
That's annoying.
That's exactly what I said. Is like if you're an amateur or you never played before, you're like a 12-year-old kid and you're trying to learn about fantasy, I get it. That's cool. That's fine. But if you're like, you've played fantasy for a while, you're in the mix, like it's insulting for a company, a website, or anything to put out a snake mock draft and expect people to watch that and not be offended, because I'm offended.
So who did that? What I don't really pay attention to like other people's fantasy opinions. So
well,
what's like
more on that later, but
Adam Ramirez, one of the guys on the site, recommended me the Fantasy Footballers is what it's called, to get ideas for our show. And I watched them, and it was literally a snake mock draft. Pathetic.
Yeah, I mean, again, if you're experienced in fantasy football, maybe that was their target demo. Like, it was like, okay, someone's brain dead, or a 12-year-old.
Someone's brain dead.
We need to help them out. Show them how to do this shit.
Someone's brain dead. The computer can't even help them. I don't know what to do for you. Like, if the computer can't help you, then here, maybe this. I don't know.
Truly insulting to my intelligence that I clicked on that. I was pissed that I clicked on that, thinking like, oh, maybe they'll bring some good ideas. Maybe, a couple things we can take. Not. Dog shit. You should be ashamed of yourself, fantasy footballers.
Alex has since been fired, by the way. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, what?
I said Alex has since been fired, by the way. Or you said it was Adam Ramirez? Alex Ramirez? I don't know people's names.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Who sent you the link? I was joking. It was a joke.
No, he didn't send me the link. He sent me the name of the company. And
whatever. I was just, it was a joke. It was a bad joke, apparently,
Okay.
but it's still a joke.
I don't know. I feel like we should do I think we should do a snake mock draft. I feel.
Don't invite me to that. Don't invite me to that.
It's just gonna be Alex by himself. Okay.
Okay,
I'm gonna
this is
take
what I
Christian
would
McCaffrey.
pick. Yeah, it's like a 3-hour thing, and I'm over here just by myself.
A 10-team snake mock draft where Alex picks everybody by himself.
I pick everyone by myself. Fucking A, man.
No, that's fantasy content gold.
That's content. I can talk for 3 hours. You don't think I could? I can filibuster. Just call me a fucking politician. I'll talk for 3 hours straight.
All right, we
But
have a good. What did you go ahead?
I was just gonna say that's probably something like if you're doing a snake mock draft, you do have to factor in is like the one guy whose entire team is gonna be auto drafted, because there's always one. There's always one in any snake league. No matter how hardcore the people are, there's like always one guy misses a draft.
There's always one guy that cannot make it for whatever fucking reason. It's annoying.
Right, exactly. So that is an interesting kind of aspect for a snake mock draft. Oh, who's gonna be the auto draft guy?
Yeah, this guy's the auto draft guy. This guy right here. So we're just gonna put him in.
All right, we have a good show for you guys today. A lot of good topics. I think this one segment I have is very creative. It's just hard to replace my brain sometimes. You know, it's priceless.
It's just there, man.
So, first topic I have for today, are you for or against trade vetoes? Because sometimes a trade goes down in your league and you're pissed off about it and you think it's really unfair. Do you think trades should be vetoed by the league if it's super unfair, or just let everything fly? Alex, what's your thoughts?
No, shit. Trade vetoes need to happen because, man, some people be throwing. Like, they're like, oh, I'm not in this anymore. And there's like, I don't care anymore. Let me just trade Julio Jones, Dalvin Cook, like anybody they have, and like trade them. And then you get, like, they'll trade him for like Hunter Renfrow or some shit. So it's just like, how the fuck is that fair? I mean, and maybe I'm just a sore loser. I don't care. I like to win. I'm competitive. That's a competitive nature in me. But no, you got to trade veto that shit. And I feel like if most of the leagues like saying, hey, fuck no, I don't think that's that big of a deal. I mean, the whole league saying, fuck no, you shouldn't be able to do that shit. If you're going to throw, don't fucking throw. Just drop all your players. But that's just me. I don't like that shit at all. Even though I've tried to do that, I try to get players from teams that are out. But still, you can veto it.
Chad?
I mean, it depends on the league. Like, if me and you, Trey, we're in the keeper league together. If you're like, and I was into some tanking last season because like I took over a team, and it wasn't pretty by the end of the season. I think Tariq Cohen was my starting running back at some point, and he's like half a point a game. But anyway, but I mean, I did get into some tanking. I traded Kirk Cousins and forget who my running back was that I traded to Matt.
Eckler. Austin Eckler.
Yeah, I traded Eckler for Matt's first round pick. If it's like stuff like that where it's like a fair deal, I don't have in like a keeper league, I don't have no problems with it. If it's like an instance where it's like the end of your season, it's not a keeper league, everybody goes back into the pool at the end of the season, and then you're just like, oh, I got to help my homeboy out because I'm losing and he has a chance to win, and you trade fucking Julio Jones, Carson Wentz, and Dalvin Cook for fucking Mitch Trubisky. Hell no, veto the fuck out of that because like you got money on the line in most of these leagues.
Yeah,
like it's fucked up.
You bring up a good point. In keeper leagues, that's totally like because it's a long game. You can play long term, you can play short term. You know, you can play the cap space. You know, you've been trying to clear cap, so that's different for keeper leagues. I haven't done an auction league or a keeper league, so I'm just coming from strictly year after year redraft. Because I'm a pussy.
Even though too, like I think the trade in the keeper league, like okay, I'm fine with tanking, but like it's at least got to make sense. Like if it's like a situation where it's like it's still a keeper league, but you're like, oh, I know I'm gonna lose. My buddy's gonna split the money with me if I trade him my best player for a 4th round pick or whatever you might do in your keeper league. Yeah. Then it's like no, we got to veto that too. But if it's an honestly like okay, he's making his roster moves for next year. It's a fair, something that's fair, then I'm fine with it. But, like, when it's those individual years where it's like, okay, everybody's back in the pool, and then you're, like, trading fucking Julio Jones for bubble gum, like, that's not cool.
No, it's
Like
it's a bit trade move.
Exactly. And guess what? If that happens and there's no vetoes and you trade fucking Julio Jones for some bullshit trade, if I see you outside, we're fighting. I don't care.
It's fade on sight. It's fade on
Get out of
sight.
you. Exactly. I want my fade.
Yeah, I was just going to bring it up in keeper leagues. This doesn't really happen because, in all honesty, it's smart to tank. And you understand why the person is tanking if, they want to reset the roster for the following year.
Right, but the compensation's fair, though, because it's a keeper league. You're like I said, you're not going to get somebody that does some bullshit trade. Like, it's like, okay, well, yeah, he's moving Julio Jones, but he's getting a first-round pick. So even if this guy wins this year, like, he's missing that rookie or whatever next year.
Right. So I think for keeper leagues, it's pretty non-existent. Like, it doesn't really happen. But, again, I'll bring this point up again. In an auction league, you should never have this problem because let's say somebody wants to trade Julio Jones and Dalvin Cook or whatever. Well, you got to fit everything under the budget. So good luck doing that with an unfair trade. So
true. Yeah, that's true.
It's just my daily show reminder that Trey has to say, hey, do an auction league, and I understand it. I have a thick head, so he knows that, so he's got to say it every time just to make sure I don't forget. I got you.
It's just a point to bring up that unfair trades should really never even happen in an auction league because everybody is priced, and you got to fit every trade under the budget.
Yeah.
Unless everybody's on their rookie contracts, and then you're fucked.
Right.
Do we have any other points here?
No, that was pretty much it. I got my rant in.
Yeah, I mean, I said what I had to say. Like I said, I'm all for vetoes, but again, it's the situational.
Yeah.
Luckily for us, Chad, we'd never really have this problem because rookie picks are just the best.
You know what? I might get on that with y'all next year, because then I'll be able to fly out and I'll have money to do it. So I feel like you guys have a lot of fun. Super hardcore.
It's the best.
I could dig it.
Chad, is it not the best?
It's fun. It is fun. I'm not gonna lie. It's frustrating, but it's fun.
I can dig it.
Like, it's bad enough you have to do math, okay, I need fucking 10 points this week because on Monday night, like, I need 10 points out of fucking Austin Eckler Monday night. Otherwise, I'm gonna lose the game. Like, that's bad enough just doing that math, but adding the money, the cap space, the salaries, it's like, Jesus fucking Christ. If I want to trade this guy, then I have to send him 2 more people, and then he's got to send me this back. That's the most annoying part about it. I'd rather not trade than have to do that math.
Yeah, but I don't think you're the math guy, Chad.
The best part about it is it makes college football so much fun.
Yeah,
I love watching the new freshmen come in and trying to figure out who I'm going to draft and have them come onto my team. It's the best. College football isn't the same without it.
I paid more attention to college football this year than I ever have in my entire life.
And see, I have to pay attention if I'm going to get into this, because then if I join next year, I'm probably going to be part of that rookie draft. So I have to know who the fuck is playing in the rookies. So it's going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah, last year in the rookie draft, I had a certified stud and a certified bust with both my picks.
Ooh,
I took DK Metcalfe in the first round and then fucking Elijah Holyfield in the second round.
Been
good.
Yeah, for those who are listening, we, in our draft with Chad, we draft rookies before the NFL draft, and you are able to select any player who isn't a true freshman, incoming true freshman. If he played a college football game, you are allowed to pick him.
Oh, by the way, I still haven't forgiven the Panthers. They literally cut Elijah Holyfield after he made the fucking 53-man roster, and I was pissed because I had fucking locked him in at that point for 3 years. It's only $1. It's only $1, but it still hurts.
That's $1, man.
That's a crucial $1.
It could have went somewhere else. I got you.
Right. When I'm bidding $150 on Carson Wentz next year, that might come in handy.
You mean this year, technically. This year.
Yeah. Well, that's what I meant. Whenever we do our draft for this year, that's what I meant.
Well, we should have already had it, but
but fucking coronavirus.
Fuck you, COVID.
By the way, I know we're going off topic here. Fuck Dr. Fauci, dude. I don't want to hear him talk about there might not be a football season. I don't want to hear him speak ever again. I'm tired of him. I'm sick of him. Every day this guy changes his mind. Wear masks. Don't wear masks. The economy is going to shut down. We need to close everything down. I hate that guy. I can't stand him.
I honestly have no idea who that is.
He's the old fuck, like the health expert or whatever.
Bro, I don't listen to any of that shit.
He changes his mind constantly. I hate him.
I'm some real conspiracy shit. I think this shit is like injected or like it's somewhere started. It's not even like organic, bro. Like someone made that shit, and you know what? It's a whole conspiracy.
I can't even hear the word anymore. I want to punch somebody every time I hear the word.
It's rough. I'm just trying to watch some sports. That's all I know.
Honestly.
Right? We're simple people, man.
All right, so we have a really good show for you guys here. And the idea behind this is we are going to pick our OnlyFans. So it's the hot new topic out right now. You start your own porn, sell a couple pictures, show the ass cheeks, maybe assless chaps going.
Make $1,000 in your first week.
Yeah, just,
Shout out to the Woman Crush Wednesday.
Shout out to the Woman Crush Wednesday. She's making it big on OnlyFans. Maybe I'll start one myself, It's the hot topic right now. So the concept behind this idea is we are going to pick our OnlyFans, one per position, and this is the player that you're willing to pay that subscription for, but also, like, part of the segment is you kind of want to discover people, You're always scrolling through. You want to see, maybe something tickles your fancy this time. So let's get a OnlyFans here. Quarterback, somebody that you're willing to pay the subscription for, but, she's under the radar. Nobody else is really paying attention. So, Alex, who is your quarterback?
Mine's got to be Drew Lock. I don't think he's getting any respect. I mean, just in the 5 years with only Cortland, or 5 games or 6 games he played last year with only Cortland Sutton, he was busting defenses up. So now you're adding Jerry Jeudy, you're adding Noah Fant, who's probably going to be a little bit better this year at least, and then you have KJ Hamler on top of that. Oh my God, that offense is going to be cooking, bro, and it's going to be scary. Drew Lock's going to be at the center of it. He needs more respect. He's easily a top 10 fantasy quarterback for me.
Yeah, I don't get this one, honestly, because I've seen rankings where he's like 25, and I laugh.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, are you serious?
I think it's an incredible pick. I would definitely be buying that Drew Lock stock right now.
Yeah, I sent it to you, actually. I sent you the link for it so we can, subscribe together.
No, but like, I can't find a ranking to save my life where he's in the top 15. Can't find one.
No, you really can't. It's blasphemous, honestly. I hate it. I don't listen.
Chad, do you have anything on Drew Lock?
I knew Drew Lock. I wasn't big on him last year, like when he first got drafted, but I knew he was legit when he was rapping Lil Jeezy or Young Jeezy on the sideline. I was like, okay, yeah, he's got it. He's got the talent. He's going to be an NFL quarterback.
You know what? That's a superstar right there.
But yeah, I mean, I think the Broncos went all in on Drew Lock in this draft and in this offseason. So I mean, I don't see any reason why he can't. But I don't know. I don't trust Elway. I don't know. Something just feels like it's going to go wrong just because Elway has terrible luck with his quarterbacks.
I actually think Denver could be good this year, though. Don't you think that's possible?
They're making the playoffs this year.
I think they're gonna make the playoffs.
I think it should not even be questioned. Their defense is all back. I mean, they got they were dealing with injuries last year. This offense is going to be pushing. I mean,
you didn't even mention Jerry Jeudy.
I did. I said Jerry Jeudy.
You said Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, I said Jerry Jeudy. But I mean, they got it on both sides of the ball. I don't see why Denver can't be one of the
And there's another playoff seed this year, right?
Yeah, 7. And that's where the Raiders are going to be.
Not one of the 7 best teams in the AFC.
Yeah, I mean it's
and the
nuts,
AFC's
dude.
dog shit.
Yeah, I mean the Broncos. I think they could be 5 or 6. Honestly, to be honest, I think they could be one of the best teams in the AFC.
I think they could win the division. Small chance, 10% chance.
They have a chance. They have a chance. The Raiders don't have a chance. The Chargers don't have a chance. I think Denver has the best chance of beating the Chiefs for the division.
All right, Chad, who is your pick for your OnlyFans quarterback here?
I'm going Nick Foles. I think we know Trubisky. He's not going to be starting after maybe like week 3. He's going to get pulled eventually. And I think Nick Foles, he excelled with Doug Peterson here in Philly. Can't remember his name, but the coach they got in Chicago, they're from that same Andy Reid, nest, you could say. I think if Nick Foles takes over the reins in Chicago, it's gonna be something special. They'll finally have a quarterback that's decent enough to let their defense win a game.
Wow, Chad, I didn't see that coming.
That's a pick. That's a pick for sure, man.
Sign me up. $5.99 every month. Go straight to Nick Foles.
You know what? You know what's crazy though? Nobody's in on Nick Foles right now. That's a great pick.
For sure.
Trey, I swear to God, if you take him in the auction, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I just realized I'm giving away fucking team secrets here to Trey.
Look, that's the fun of the game.
No, but when it comes to like the auction draft, I just I'm gonna bid on any starting quarterback just because you need quarterbacks. Like I said it last
He's
episode.
not a starting quarterback. He's not a starting quarterback, so don't bid on him.
No, it was the episode with Jackson. I will overdraft quarterbacks this year. It was one of the things lessons to learn from. I will not have a Ben Roethlisberger situation happen to me. I will draft 5 quarterbacks, 6 quarterbacks, 7 quarterbacks this year. I will bid on all of them. I'm not letting that happen to me.
I'm still tripping on Nick Foles. Sorry. I'm just kind of.
No, but you know what? I think that's a good pick.
You know what? No one is in on him, and that is for sure. And you know what? He might surprise people. I mean, he kind of faltered when he was in Jacksonville. So I mean, fresh start.
I mean, but if you're now, I just remembered his name, Matt Nagy. If you're Matt Nagy, you've gone through 3 years now with Mitch Trubisky, who couldn't hit a broadside of a barn, and you get Nick Foles falls into your lap. 2 or 3 games into the season, fucking Trubisky's not hacking it, which we know he really can't, and you finally get to put in an accurate quarterback who, yeah. I mean, he won a Super Bowl. I think there could be something there. I mean, because, again, not the exact same system that was in Philly, but, I mean, there's going to be concepts that Doug Peterson did that are going to be similar to what Matt Nagy does, and all he needs is a quarterback that can actually deliver a ball to a receiver. I don't think it's crazy. And I think we all know that fucking Trubisky is going to be benched at some point this season.
Yeah, I think that's undisputed.
Here's why I actually love your pick, and it has nothing to do with Nick Foles. I think Matt Nagy is secretly one of the best play callers in the NFL. Nobody's going to say that because Trubisky stinks, but it's a miracle.
Well, look what he did 2 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. What he did with Trubisky 2 years ago, and I said it this year, he's going to run out of plays at some point. And he did. But the things he was dialing up were all smoke and mirrors. The fact that he got Trubisky to 12 wins? I think that Matt Nagy knows how to coach.
That's definitely fair.
And I mean, when they played the Eagles in the Super Bowl, or not the Super Bowl, the playoffs a couple years ago, there were times where fucking Trubisky looked like he was actively trying to throw an interception. I swear to God, there was 5 times in a row he threw it right at a Philadelphia Eagles player, and it was okay, what the fuck? Somebody put some stickum on and actually catch the fucking ball.
I think Avonte Maddox dropped 3 picks that game.
Yikes! Oof.
I know he dropped one. He dropped one right on the goal, literally on the goal line. Hit him literally right between the 2 and the 9. And it was dude, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
Here's another reason why I like your Nick Foles pick. And I know we're spending a lot of time on this, but, we can keep going. I think they have better weapons than we think, too. I think Allen Robinson, say what you want about him, I think he's a number 1 wide receiver in this league.
Well, look what he did last year
underrated.
with Trubisky.
Yeah.
How many touchdowns do you have with Trubisky throwing the ball to him? 6, 7?
He was awesome in fantasy this year. They have good weapons. They really, really do. I think Riley Ridley is a name that he's going to get better. I think Tariq Cohen's a guy out of the backfield. It's not like they have nothing. They have guys that you can get the ball to.
Yeah.
If you're not Mitchell Trubisky.
Correct.
Yeah. The guy. Ooh, man, you caught me by that was very surprising. I was not ready for that.
I'm paying for the subscription, $5.99 every month. Get photos, videos, private chats. I'm all in on Nick Foles.
Nipples pinching.
Nipples pinching. All right, we found Trey's kink. Go ahead.
All right, so I'm gonna give my pick here, and this actually funnels great because I wanted to drag that Foles one out because this sets me up perfectly here. I'm glad we had the order that we did because my pick is Carson Wentz, Chad. And I'm picking Carson Wentz because I know you're all over him, and that's fine. And I know you're going to get him in fantasy, and that's fine. This is more of a respect card. It's time to recognize that this is one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. And all these fantasy rankings I have seen fantasy rankings where Wentz is not a top 10 fantasy quarterback.
See, that is exactly why I don't listen to that bullshit and I do my own fantasy analysis.
Thank you.
I would say it is actually rare that I find Wentz in a top 10 of fantasy rankings, which to me is insane. And I know that, fantasy and NFL success isn't exactly the same, and the Eagles' defense should be pretty good this year, I would guess, and their weapons aren't the greatest, but there is no question. And if you disagree with this, you just don't watch football. He is one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football right now. There is no question about it. And I'm saying this because there are a lot of people that actually believe Nick Foles is better. And those people do not watch the games or are very uneducated.
Yeah, you're lucky you don't live where I live, and you have to listen to that on the radio. Like, it's just, Nick Foles. Like, okay, yeah, I love Nick Foles. Popped my Super Bowl cherry. Not going to lie, that was awesome. But come on, he's not better than Carson Wentz. Like, if he was, he wouldn't have played like shit when he was the starter the year after they won the Super Bowl.
And Carson Wentz has the Super Bowl ring. I don't care what anybody says, but they don't win that Super Bowl if they don't have home field advantage.
Just to add to that, give me 1 second.
Oh, okay. Well, this is impromptu. This is unusual. I'm still trying to get people just to recognize that, Carson Wentz is better than Dak Prescott. But, man, Nick Foles, that's a whole different ballgame. I can't believe people actually think Nick Foles is better than Carson Wentz.
Well, you don't watch the games if you think Dak Prescott's better.
They're fucking stupid. The people that think Foles is better than Wentz are stupid. I have Wentz's Super Bowl ring. Can you see that? See, it says Wentz.
Okay. Interesting. How did you get that? Is it a replica?
Yeah, it's a replica.
I
just broke into Carson. He lives in Jersey. I just broke into his house really casually and stole it. No big deal.
I'm naive. I'll believe you. Tell me, hey, that's the real shit. I'd be like, damn, where'd you get that at? What auction did you get that? I'll fucking believe you. Don't lie to me. I don't like that shit, man. I'm naive.
My point is here, I'm buying the stock now. I'm buying it when it's $6.99 a month instead of, 3 months from now, he's going to be fucking something. You know it. That video is going viral. And you're going to be paying $199 per month for that subscription because that stock's going way up.
Oh, by the way, Carson just had a baby. He's got something to play for this year. Needs to keep the baby in rose gold Pampers. So he's got extra
Pampers.
Yeah, he's got extra motivation this season because he just had a kid. So he's got something to play for.
I want to repeat this again because it needs to be repeated. Carson Wentz is one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football right now, and it is not a discussion. If you want to say that Mahomes or Russell Wilson are better, that's fine. We'll give that.
I'd give you Watson too.
I'd say Watson too.
You can make the argument. I'm not gonna. But it's there,
and that's exactly what I was gonna say. I would give you Watson too, and I might even say Watson myself. However, that's it. There is no other quarterback that belongs in the discussion.
Dak Prescott. No, I'm just kidding.
That's
I'm
it.
just
But
kidding.
when you left to get your ring, that's what me and Trey were talking about. I was like, I'm still trying to get people to realize that Carson Wentz is better than Dak Prescott.
That's the list.
Honestly,
It's Russell Wilson, Pat Mahomes, and maybe Deshaun Watson. That's the list. Who's better?
yeah, and honestly, the reason why I didn't pick – I was thinking about going with Carson. The reason why I didn't is because I feel like that should be a no-brainer. Obviously, it's not, but I feel like it should be. It's not, but it should be. That's the reason why I didn't pick him is because I feel like anyone who honestly watches this man play cannot sit there and look at his stats throwing to like fucking Greg Ward and that Nelson can't catch a cold Aguilar. Like he's putting up normal numbers like with those fucking guys he's throwing the ball to. If you gave him an actually good receiver, like when he had Deshaun Jackson before Deshaun got hurt, he was airing that shit out.
Yeah. He can make any throw. He honestly can.
Just, I'm telling you right now, maybe he won't be a top 5 fantasy quarterback, but I think he should be. He is 100% a top 10 fantasy quarterback. There is no question about that. And I have not seen anything that it's very rare I see him in the top 10 of fantasy quarterbacks. He absolutely needs to be.
Yeah, he should be.
Obviously. Yep. I'm with you.
All right, Chad, let's go to you this time. OnlyFans running back. Who are you buying that subscription for?
My OnlyFans running back is going to be Joshua Kelly, San Diego.
Wow.
I think Austin Eckler, I think, is going to be their top back, but I think Kelly has a good chance to maybe be their
I see why you did
their
this now.
backup guy. And Trey knows because 2 years ago I had Melvin Gordon in fantasy, and I swear to God, an angel lost its wings every time Austin Eckler scored a touchdown, and he scored a couple of them. So there's a couple angels right now that don't have any wings because of Austin Eckler. Fucking hated that guy. But I think Austin Eckler, he's a smaller running back. He's going to need to take some spells every once in a while. And I think Joshua Kelly, he's going to be that goal line back for them like Melvin Gordon was before he left.
I want to go next. Mine's Austin Eckler, actually.
Pause. I want to get into the conspiracy theory for why Chad picked Josh Kelly. He just wants Austin Eckler to fail because he traded his ass.
Honestly, I didn't even think about that. But that does sound like something that I would do. But no, it has nothing to do with that. I promise. I didn't even think about that I had traded him. But I do hate Austin Eckler, though.
Exactly. That's why I picked Josh Kelly.
Well, I mean, it's not like the other stuff I said wasn't true. He's going to be able to clean up on the goal line.
All right. How about for this year, though? How about for this year? Forget about, okay, maybe he's a target for, future years, and that's great. But for this year, you expect him to be fantasy relevant. You can, maybe he carves out a role, and you can actually play him as in your starting lineup?
Yes, I do believe so. I think so.
Okay.
Like I said, the Chargers probably more than pretty much any team in the league that I can think of right now, they probably use their second running back more than anybody else. So if he slides into that second running back role, he'll have some decent production. He's probably not going to be like your mainstay running back, but I think he could be either a decent running back too or a pretty good flex option for you.
All right, maybe you'll see his nuts hanging around in that subscription you buy. Who knows?
Maybe. Hopefully not.
Alex, OnlyFans running back. Now you can chime in.
I had Austin Eckler. So, yeah, this makes it interesting because I don't agree with you at all, honestly. Before Melvin Gordon came back, Austin Eckler was he was a top 5 running back in the league. So, I mean, a fantasy running back in the league. And then even after, Melvin Gordon came back, he was still relevant. He was still top 10, top 15. And I didn't see Justin Jackson those first 6 weeks really making that much of an impact. So, I don't know. I'm big on Eckler this year just because I don't trust Tyrod Taylor. I don't trust Justin Herbert. And I don't think the wide receivers and the tight end, I think Hunter Henry might benefit from those two quarterbacks if you can benefit from them. But I think Austin Eckler benefits the most from Tyrod Taylor or Justin Herbert, starting just because I don't believe in any of them. And I think they're going to give Eckler the ball a lot. And I think he's going to get a lot of fantasy production. And no one's in on him. And that's why I picked him. You know, he's my subscription. I'm subscribing to that guy.
I don't know how else to describe Austin Eckler besides this. If you watch Austin Eckler, there will be plays where he does nothing. But then you will look at your fantasy box score and it'll be like, how the fuck does he have 25 points? Right. I feel like that every week when the Chargers are on, you're like, they're not doing anything on offense. But then I look at I'm like, how the fuck did Austin Eckler have 25 points this week?
95-yard screenplay for a touchdown out of nowhere.
It happens every week. I don't know how he does it, but he finds ways to have those weeks constantly.
I'm telling you, every time Austin Eckler scores a touchdown, a puppy dies. It's true. I hated him so much 2 years ago. I had Melvin Gordon. It'd be like, okay, the Chargers are on the 5-yard line. Melvin Gordon's about to score a touchdown. And it'll be like, and then the next thing, the thing will pop up on the tracker, and it'll be like, Chargers touchdown. Okay, who scored it? Melvin? No, Austin fucking Eckler. And I'd be like, God damn it!
What you should do is you should really hate the Chargers. Remember, my dad offered you a trade to take Melvin Gordon back.
Yeah, but he wanted like all of my picks. Like he was like, okay, just trade me all of your first round picks, the deed to your house, and maybe your car, and then we'll call it square. I was like, what?
That's how I trade. I reach up here and then I try to expect you to go down a little bit, but I reach all the way up.
There was no bargaining. It was like he sent me the trade and I was like, oh well, maybe I'll do like my second round pick for Melvin Gordon or some shit like that, and then just silence. Never heard back from him. There was no bargaining. It was like you either give me like a pint of blood or nothing at all.
Fucking A.
All right, my pick, and I'm also going with a rookie running back, maybe a more established one or higher pick, but all the people are very much into Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That stock is like, you buy the subscription for that, you're like, it's like $19.99 at this point. It's too expensive. You're buying the subscription for Jonathan Taylor, way too expensive. Everybody's in on that guy. A lot of people are in on the rookie running backs. I hear nothing from Cam Akers. Nothing. Nobody is talking about Cam. I've seen rankings where he's in like the 50s out of running backs. I can't find somebody that likes Cam Akers. I don't understand. This guy is one of the highest recruited running backs in the history of college football. This man went to Florida State and they had to bench him for a couple games because he would throw temper tantrums that he got tackled because he was a Wildcat quarterback in high school. He did not get tackled, and he would throw hissy fits on the sidelines his freshman year because he got tackled. That's how special this guy is. And yes, Florida State was a mess, and they were a train wreck. But that's the only reason why people are not in on this guy. All you have to do is watch him at the combine and watch him shuffle his feet. And I'm not saying he's Christian McCaffrey, but I have not seen a running back's feet look that good at the combine since Christian McCaffrey. The guy is an athletic freak, monster, 220 pounds with great speed. He's going to step right into the Rams, and I hate Jared Goff. I can't stand Jared Goff, and I don't even like their guard-center-guard combo. But he's going to be Todd Gurley in that offense eventually. It's going to happen. He's going to be the man. So I don't understand how he's not. He should be in the 20s. At least, minimum. If he ends the year as a top 10 fantasy running back, I would not be surprised. So give me every bit of Cam Akers. I want to see his feet on OnlyFans. I want to see his arms, his neck, his ears. I want to see it all. Give me the subscription to Cam Akers because this guy will be a monster.
Yeah, that's fair. I thought you were going to go with Keyshawn Vaughn. Honestly, because when you said rookie running back, and I was like, okay, I was trying to like narrow it down. No,
but I think people are in on Keyshawn Vaughn. I think a lot of people are in on Keyshawn Vaughn.
I just don't hear anybody talk about Keyshawn Vaughn like they do, Clyde or Jonathan Taylor. My only thing with Cam Akers is just how if he gets most of the touches, I could see it. If they do the running back committee, I just don't. I don't like it at all. But I think the Rams showed you last year
They don't believe that Darrell Henderson will be anything more than a third down pass catching back, because otherwise they would have used him. They picked him in the third round, and they basically didn't use him. That tells you they probably don't like him, or they watched him in practice and say, he's probably not that good. And Malcolm Brown is what he is. Cam Akers is gonna be the guy.
All right, I like it.
No, I think he's definitely the best back on their roster. So I mean, he's definitely got the potential to start. And I mean, Jared Goff, I think they still are in love with Jared Goff. So I think it really just depends. I think partially the reason why like everything kind of fell apart with Todd Gurley is because they were trying to feed Jared Goff more and kind of make that more Jared Goff's team. So if they're willing to be like, okay, well, Jared Goff needs to take like a mild back seat to our offense, then yeah, I think it's a good pick. But I think if they're trying to like continue the trend that we've seen where this is Jared's team, where it's really should be someone else's team and Jared's just a supporting character, I think that's probably going to it's probably going to hurt his production.
I think Cam Akers is going to step in there, and in about 2 weeks, they're going to say, this guy needs to be Dalvin Cook for us. Where Kirk Cousins, I don't even know why I'm bringing this up, but like Kirk Cousins has to rely on Dalvin Cook. They cannot win football games without Dalvin Cook. They just cannot. Like that Cowboys game was a perfect example when Minnesota played Dallas. Dalvin Cook like did everything. He wasn't just like running the ball. Kirk Cousins could not complete passes unless it was a screen. How many screen passes did you see Dalvin Cook get? I think that's going to be Cam Akers for the Rams. They know Jared Goff can't win football games. It has to be Cam Akers. It has to be.
I like it. I'm gonna write that in my notes, Cam Akers, and so I might get him this. Who knows?
Alex, who is your OnlyFans wide receiver?
Devante Parker, bro. I am so excited about Devante Parker. I don't think he's getting enough attention. I like him even more if Tua starts. If Tua starts, I'm sold on Parker. He at the end of the last season, he was coming into his own. He started getting a lot of touches, started getting a lot of catches. I like Devante Parker this year. If Tua starts, he's the clear number one in Miami. Their team is not all that good, but, I mean, they're going to be throwing a lot, and I think Devante Parker is going to be on most of that receiving end.
I forgot. I didn't write this down, but I think I was going to do an article on this. I think it was like week 5 or something on. Devante Parker was the second best wide receiver in fantasy, which is banana land. You would never guess that.
Yeah. No, like I honestly think he's, in the running for top 10 at least for a wide receiver for fantasy. I believe that.
He has the virtue of the fact that, they're probably going to be trailing in a lot of games.
Yeah.
And he's like literally their only weapon.
Yeah. Unless you want to make a case for Preston Williams, but that's not much of a case.
Whoa. Let's stop right there.
Okay.
Preston Williams is fucking good.
He is good.
No.
How many people know Preston Williams though?
No. He's really good. People don't know that yet, but he's really good. He would have been drafted in the first round if he wasn't a fucking idiot. If he would have stayed at Tennessee and never had to transfer and just like wasn't dumb, he would have went in the first round.
That's fair. I'll give you that. I don't know. I think Devante Parker's the number one guy. Tua starts, I love him even more. I think he's a can't miss guy, honestly.
Chad, do you have anything on Parker?
I will. The only thing I'm going to add about Devante Parker is I thought the same thing about him like 2 years ago, and I had him in fantasy, and he scored like 5 points the entire season.
Who was their quarterback, though? And this a lot of it's on Tua, too. I want Tua. If Tua starts, and I think he will, easily, I don't think they're worried about the hip, then I think it's easy. I can't see Ryan Fitzpatrick.
One thing with Devante Parker though too is he's been injured at like every year of his career. So
yeah.
The thing I was going to bring up is there's nothing like a year 5 bump. Nothing like a year 5 breakout. When the fuck does that happen? where a wide receiver is just like terrible, average for like 4 years, 5 years, and then just comes out of nowhere and is a top 10 fantasy wide receiver. It never happens. What if it was a fluke? What if the whole thing was a mirage?
It's not. I'm sold. It's not. I'm never wrong. Never lost. I don't know. I'm into it. I really like it. I like his subscription, like his content. I think people should buy into that, man. I think he puts very good content. You know what? Sometimes he is injured and he takes hiatus on his content, but his content is so good. You can't pass on it. I'm sorry.
But I think the thing with Parker isn't that he wasn't producing because he wasn't good. I think it was, like I said, he was hurt like every year of his career so far. It's been something every year. If he stays healthy, he might be a good player. I think last year was the only year he hasn't had an injury.
Chad,
there you go. See?
OnlyFans wide receiver?
I got to go with my guy. Here, you guys ripped my team like 2 episodes ago or some shit, my fantasy team. You ripped it. Oh, he doesn't have any quarterbacks. $43 for Julio Jones. $42, whatever. First of all, you guys were shitting on Julio Jones, and it's misguided. It's all misguided. Like, I'm going with Julio Jones because he's the most consistent wide receiver that you can get. If you look at the past 4 years in fantasy, 2016, 17, 18, and 19, Julio was the 5th best wide receiver in fantasy those 4 years in a row. He had the 5th most points and the 5th most points per game average. He was the best wide receiver in fantasy. Yeah, maybe he might not get a lot of touchdowns, but he consistently, almost every game, has 100 yards. At least 100 yards. So he's going to get you 10 points every game. He's getting you 10 points.
First off, I was on your side. I like Julio Jones. Second off, that was
I
just
don't think
advice.
you were on his side.
I was. I love Julio Jones. I like Julio Jones.
Can I also point out there's no way that's Gatorade, Chad?
No, it is.
There's no way. You are drinking – you definitely 100% are drinking a Captain and Dr. Pepper right now.
It's purple Gatorade.
It is grape. It does say grape right there.
I thought 100% you had a soda in there with something in it.
No, it's Gatorade.
Okay.
I have to get up early tomorrow. I have to go to like bumfuck Pennsylvania to go look at my car.
Second off, we were just offering advice. You do need quarterbacks and running backs. Are we wrong? I mean, we haven't had the auction yet. I've only been in the league for 1 year. I don't have the benefit of 40 million rookie picks like Trey has. But I'm just saying. We were just offering advice, and I just wanted to say that I love Julio Jones.
Obviously I need a quarterback. I don't have
you don't have any. Yeah.
It's like I'm just gonna roll up, no quarterback at all. Just play running backs and fucking 9 kickers all season.
9 kickers.
I would say, like, I don't hate Julio Jones. I drafted him out of Alabama when I was in that league. I had him for the first 3 years, and then I doubled down. I franchised him and had him for 3 more years. I don't hate Julio Jones. I've had him in that league for a long time. But I don't always think that he's worth $50, $60 in that league constantly because he drives me nuts some weeks. There are weeks he'll go by and not have a touchdown for 5 weeks. It drives me insane.
He'll have 10 points all of those games.
Yes, he will. But it drives me insane that he doesn't catch more touchdowns.
And in some games, he'll have 300 yards.
Yes.
Like, how can you be mad about that?
But he drives me nuts.
And then if you're in is Alex, are you the PPR guy or is that Scott?
I am the PPR guy. Hello.
Okay.
How are you?
So for Alex, you should fucking love him because he gets 9 catches every game.
I love Julio Jones.
That's 19 points. 100 yards, 9 catches. That's 19 points in PPR. I might switch to a PPR league just so I can draft Julio Jones.
Pussy league. Yes, sir.
He is the best wide receiver maybe in the last 10 years. There's no doubt about it. But I also think that I hate Matt Ryan. I can't stand Matt Ryan. I always wonder what his stats would look like if he had somebody better than Matt Ryan.
That's true. I'll give you that.
Send him to Philly. Listen, fuck it. Send him to Philly. We'll trade him Alshon and a first-round pick for Julio. Let's do that.
Bruh.
Alex, did you give your wide receiver pick? Or yeah,
I
you
did. It was Devante Parker.
All right. I'm going to give my pick, and Chad, I'm going to make you very happy because you won't trade me him.
Oh, okay.
You won't trade me him.
I gave you a fair price. I think I gave you a fair price. What did I say?
You
Two
said
first rounders?
You said 5 first rounders or some shit like that.
No, I said 2 first rounders and then a second rounder.
I don't even have 2 first rounders right now.
Okay, put it on layaway.
Put him on layaway.
I'll keep him until you get 2 first rounders, and then you trade me those.
Oof.
I'm gonna go with DK Metcalfe, and the reason why I'm going here is I've seen a lot of those little. Let's figure out how the targets are going to get split up in this offense. Those fucking nerds talking about Russell Wilson and this fucking, he doesn't throw a lot to 2 wide receivers and Brian Schottenheimer, and they like to run the ball. I don't care. By the
way, it was 3 1s and a 2. That's what it was.
Yeah. I don't care. And you can talk to me about Tyler Lockett all you want. I don't care. By this year, he will be better than Tyler Lockett. And he basically had 1,000 yards last year and did nothing the first 6 weeks. Chad, you had him in fantasy. What week would you say he was useful for you last year?
I think he scored his first touchdown week 4 or 5.
But my point is, he did nothing the first few weeks.
No, he didn't. It was literally like I can't believe both of my picks fucking sucked this year. Like that's what it felt like. And then out of nowhere, he just started fucking torching dudes, scoring long ass touchdowns. By the way, he dropped like a 60-yard touchdown reception against Philly in the game they played.
Yeah, which is where I was gonna go. Like he did nothing for like 5 weeks and had 1,000 yards. And in that playoff game, I think we kind of saw, okay, this is what we're getting next year.
Right.
He beat Philadelphia by himself. And Philadelphia wasn't going to win that game because Josh McCown was never going to score a touchdown in that game. But Metcalfe, they couldn't guard him. The guy was he's just
open.
Bigger, faster, stronger than everybody out there.
And he can't run route. He doesn't run good routes yet. If he can learn how to run a good route, Julio Jones. I'm telling you.
I said this before the draft. I've never seen somebody who reminds me of Terrell Owens more coming out of the draft than DK Metcalfe. I think if everything goes right and he learns, he polishes up his game, he gets a little bit better, he starts – and T.O. had drop problems. T.O. was not the best route runner. But by like year 2, year 3, you were like, what the fuck is that? We're going to say that about DK Metcalfe. There's going to be a week this year, or maybe it's even next year. We're going to look at DK Metcalfe and say, what the fuck is that thing? It's going to happen.
I'm scared for when I no longer have him under contract. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do.
It's going to happen, though. There's going to be a week it happens. And you can shove the fucking offense up your ass. You can shove Tyler Lockett up your ass. I don't care about the game script. I don't care that Schottenheimer's the quarterback. Russell Wilson is your quarterback. That's all I care about. He's better than Tyler Lockett, or will be eventually. He's going to go and be a monster. It's just a matter of when.
Right. And Russell Wilson as a quarterback, he's the guy that you can't use those, like you said, game scripts with. Because how many times have we just seen Russell Wilson
run around?
Right. He doesn't follow the play.
No.
It's like he's a backyard quarterback, like, backyard football quarterback. Like, it's okay, this is what the play is, but really the play is like Russell Wilson's going to like just chill in the backfield for like 40 seconds and then throw the ball to whoever's open. And more times than not, I feel like that's going to be DK Metcalfe. Because who's covering him?
But there's all
covering
these
a fucking racehorse.
There's all these fantasy nerds out there, and they're like, the Seahawks have never supported 2 wide receivers in fantasy before. Yeah, they had fucking Doug Baldwin and dog shit Percy Harvin. They've never had this guy.
Right.
Ever.
And that's why, Pete Carroll, if you're listening, I hope you are. Just give the fucking ball to Russell Wilson. Put it in his fucking hands. Stop trying to run the ball all the goddamn time. It doesn't work.
I like running the ball. They're just excessive with it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, if they took they need to put the ball in Russell Wilson's hands more. Like, put it in your best player's hands. And, of course, I'm biased because that just means more targets for DK Metcalfe. But I still think if they had unleashed Russell Wilson, I think it was 2 years ago in the playoffs against Dallas, they would win that game. They would have won that game easily. They would have fucking blown the Cowboys out. But they wanted to stick to that running game. And it was like, okay, the running game is not working. These linebackers are too goddamn fast to run against like that. And your running backs, frankly, just aren't that good.
I'm just telling everybody right now, if anybody remembers that playoff game against Philadelphia, that's what Terrell Owens looked like as a rookie and as like a second-year player. That's what Terrell Owens looked like.
We were at that game.
The playoff game? I wasn't there.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, that's right. You went with me to the Giants game.
Yeah.
I went to the playoff game with my boy Walter from work. That's what it was.
All right.
Well, I didn't get to say anything. No.
Go ahead. What do you got?
All I had to say was, if you're thinking about Tyler Lockett, I mean, who's going to score the touchdowns for Seattle? I mean, are you going to say Tyler Lockett or are you going to say DK Metcalfe? And if you're not saying DK Metcalfe, you're not watching the games closely because he's going to be their touchdown. He's going to be their touchdown guy. I don't see him running the ball in. I don't see him throwing to Tyler Lockett. I see him DK Metcalfe getting a shit ton of touchdowns.
The problem is I don't hate Tyler Lockett, but that's not the point. He's just not that guy.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, I'm sorry, you're not going to throw to Tyler Lockett for the end zone. You're going to throw to DK Metcalfe because he's taller, he's faster, and he's bigger.
It's like covering a fucking racehorse.
Exactly. Seabiscuit.
All right, OnlyFans, tight end. Alex, what gets you going a little bit at night? You thinking about this guy, buying the subscription? What do you have?
Oh, man, I'm telling you, when I get lonely, I still don't know how to fucking say his name. Jonnu Smith. Is that how you say his name?
Jonnu Smith.
Jonnu Smith. John. Okay, you gotta say John and then new. Got you.
Jonnu
Smith. John Ooh. That's what I said. Yeah, words. Smith. But anyway, I like him because, I mean, you have A.J. Brown, and everyone knows about A.J. Brown, but you also have this guy. And I don't trust any of the other wide receivers. Who the fuck was this guy last week was a Titans player. That he was like the fourth on the roster because, you know what, he just might just show up. But I don't feel like anyone's talking about Jonnu Smith enough because he's going to be the second option on that team. Undoubtedly. I don't think it's a question. I think he's going to get a lot of touchdowns this year, and I think more people should be about him and get his subscription because I get lonely.
I think it's a good pick. He's definitely on my maybe I'll throw a tight end flyer at guy. This is the first year they don't have Delaney Walker. I've talked a little bit about this in the past, but I don't love the Titans offense, but this is a guy that literally gets snaps at running back. He rushed for 95 yards last year, and he's their tight end. They kind of like this guy. They're going to get him in the offense. So, and he was great in that playoff game against Baltimore. So I think that's a good pick.
Good. I like it too.
I mean, my only concern, Trey kind of briefly mentioned, is just the Titans offense with him. Like, Tannehill is still the quarterback. I mean, we know that, Henry, he's the focal point. So, and tight ends, a lot of times they do a lot of their work in the box. So having that running game is just bringing extra players into the box. So maybe I'm a little bit concerned with that, but who knows?
We'll see. I really like him though. I think he's one of my favorite tight ends this year.
All right, so where are we? I forget.
We were doing tight ends, and Alex said
Jonnu Smith.
Chad, what do you have?
I'm gonna go with an Eagle. I'm gonna go Dallas Goddard. I feel like because Zach Ertz is there, I think people do look at Dallas Goddard as the just the backup. But he's actually a major part of the Eagles offense. We talked about this the last time I was on the show with you guys. Dallas Goddard, he actually scored more touchdowns than Zach Ertz did last year. He doesn't have the hands that Ertz has, but he's better in the open field. So they like to find ways to get Goddard the ball in space and allow him to run with it. So I'm going Dallas Goddard. I think he'll have just as good, if possibly better season than Zach Ertz will.
I actually was going to pick Goddard, but the reason why I didn't is because I feel like next year is his year. Next year, he's in a contract year. He fucking goes crazy. But for this year, I feel like he's just going to have a good year. He'll finish in the top 10 or whatever, but he doesn't he doesn't really like get you going.
That's my cousin you're talking about there. Watch your mouth.
Hey, you're subscribing to your cousin on OnlyFans?
No, that's what he looks like. He looks like Dallas Goddard.
I told people when we went to the Eagles, was it when I went with you or was it when I was with my friend Walter? I was like telling people that I was Goddard's cousin.
Yeah, and you had the jersey on.
Yeah, that's right. I did have the jersey. I was telling people, like, I had a couple people convinced. They were like, "Oh yeah, I could definitely see you look like him."
Alex, pull up a picture of Dallas Goddard while I give my pick, and you tell me he doesn't look like Chad.
All right, let me see.
All right, so while Alex is doing that, I'll give my pick here, and I'm gonna go with former Penn State tight end Mike Gesicki. He's gonna be heading into his third NFL season. Alex mentioned the Dolphins. It's Devante Parker and a bunch of unknowns. I like Preston Williams, but Gesicki has made gradual increases in his game. As a rookie, he looked kind of lost. This past year, he had moments where he looked good but couldn't put it all together. This is the year Mike Gesicki has a great year. And we talked about the Dolphins. I think part of last year was they were like tanking the first how many weeks and nobody was good for them. And I think Brian Flores knows how to coach. He gets those guys to buy in. They should be better this year. Maybe not much, but better. Their defense still needs work, so I think they'll be throwing a lot. I think Gesicki could turn into a 10-touchdown guy. What if he gets 800 yards in this offense? I think he's the guy you should really watch out for, and he's taken in our league, but breakout season could be coming here.
I like that pick. I think he has a chance to be a good number 2, number 1 guy, even if, God forbid, my pick for Devante Parker falls out or he gets injured, then yeah, I could see it.
I like Gesicki. I think he's a big body and he's got a little bit of speed to him. He's a vertical threat as a tight end, which like he gets a lot of he gets downfield a lot, and like I said, he's a really big body just in the end zone. More so than your average tight end. I think he's like 6'6", right?
He's humongous. He's going to be a red zone threat for them, regardless.
Yeah. So, I like Gesicki.
Yeah, you do look like Dallas Goddard, though. Like, no shit. No shit. I looked and I was like, well, goddamn, it's just Chad. There you are. Nice to have you there, bud.
And that's why when I went to the Eagles game, people actually believed that he was my cousin.
I also want credit for being the first one to say this, by the way.
Did I look like Dallas Goddard?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I could see it. I could see it.
Yeah, well, I had to turn into the skid. I got a Goddard jersey for Christmas this year.
Well, you know what? You gotta send him a DM and be like, hey, we're cousins, bud. Just accept it. We look alike. You ever want to know what you look like? Here I am. Like, yeah.
If you ever wanted to know what you would look like if you were short and fat, this is me. So.
Fucking A.
All right, that was your OnlyFans conversation here. Comment on YouTube if you like our picks, don't like our picks. Maybe we'll do this again, maybe. I don't know. I think it went well. Maybe, I don't know, we can get one more pick out of this next time we record or whatever. But comment on YouTube.
The special teams, OnlyFans.
Special teams, defensive and special team, OnlyFans.
If you like
it's a gangbang season out here, boys.
Comment on YouTube. I think it was a creative idea. And check out the website, vendettasportsmedia.com. Follow Alex, Chicks Tape Pod, Chad, Lilfooted, LILFOOTED, myself, Trey Daubert, the website, media_vendetta. All right, we have 2 more segments to go here. Through these 2 at the end. or 1 at the end, and the usual. Least favorite fantasy expert, guy that, breaks down fantasy, and anytime you see him on TV or you see his face or you see an article, you would love to punch this guy in the face. Alex, who is it?
Okay, so unfortunately, I don't look at many fantasy experts. I do my own research. But for this segment, I started looking at rankings of fucking experts, and I don't like this guy anymore, and I'll explain why. His name is Mike Clay. I don't know what he looks like. I don't know anything about him, but I really want to punch him just because I want to run with a little game real quick. Nah, it's not going to be – it's going to be me talking game, okay? This is Mixon, or if you would you take Mixon over these guys? And I'm going to say them very slowly. Travis Kelce.
No.
Kenny Golladay. Allen Robinson. Adam Thielen.
Yes.
George Kittle.
No.
Lamar Jackson.
What kind of leagues? They're probably fucking standard leagues where it's one quarterback, so
Either or.
probably actually. Maybe.
Patrick Mahomes.
No.
A.J. Brown.
No.
Zach Ertz.
Of course not.
No.
Cooper Kupp.
Maybe.
Debo Samuel.
No.
He had Joe Mixon over all of these guys. I don't like him. And everyone knows I don't even like Joe Mixon. I think he's a horrible fantasy running back. I will never take him. I think he's horrible, and he had him over all these guys. And after I read that, I'm like, you're an idiot, and I don't like you. So that was just it. That's why I don't follow fantasy experts, because they're all fucking retarded.
You picked the one Pennsylvania guy. He's from Pennsylvania. Went to Kutztown. I don't hate him because he's from PA, but he is actually at ESPN. He does all their projections. So when he
needs to stop.
When you're going through your mock draft and you see at the top of the ESPN league it says projected to get this, he's the guy that does that.
Ew, I don't like that. That's disgusting. Actually, I don't like him. I think he's wrong. So that's just mine. I didn't know who he was, and now I don't like him.
Chad?
I mean, I'm kind of like Alex. I honestly don't watch ESPN's fantasy analysis. I don't watch NFL Network's. I basically look up the stats and I do my own shit. So I hate them all. They all suck.
There, I like.
I'm with you.
Except for you, Trey. I like you. You're good at fantasy stuff.
He's good. He's good. He does all right.
Thanks, Chad.
You all right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just threw this in the end because we like to take shots. That's what we do.
Who's your guy? Who's your guy?
I cannot stand Field Yates. I hate that guy. I can't
That
stand
doesn't even
him.
sound like a real name.
And it
really does it.
It has nothing to do with any of his opinions. He is – just Google this guy.
Okay, I'm doing it.
He brings nothing to the table. Everything he says is the goddamn boringest thing I've ever heard. Like, he's cookie cutter. Everything goes by ESPN's rankings. He just brings nothing. I would love to just punch him in the face just to make him interesting. I think it would
looks
work.
like his family owned slaves.
Probably.
Like he looks like his great grandparents owned slaves. I'm telling you.
So goddamn boring. Like, I don't like Matthew Berry, but at least he's got like a little personality. He's got something to him. Whether I agree with him or don't. Field Yates, like, I can't stand that guy. He is the most boring person they have at ESPN. Like, just boring.
That's dead ass his name. That's what I was Googling. I just wanted to make sure that was his real name. That's dead ass his name. Who names their kid that?
Oh,
hey, yo,
God, I can't listen to him.
Fuck it. His nickname apparently is Jailbait.
Oh, he's
fucking stupid.
He's a huge nerd, and they make jokes about how he can't grow facial hair. It's just the worst. It is the worst.
I can't grow facial hair either, but it's all right. I'm still working on it. It takes me about a year. It's okay.
All right.
No, that guy, I don't.
It's that time of the week, Chad.
Who the fuck is that guy?
I'm actually prepared this time. I knew
Who
who it
the
was.
fuck is that guy? Guy you never heard of. Guy you'll never draft. Somehow, some way, he will win you your fantasy league. Chad, what do you have?
I got Reggie Bonifant, Carolina running back.
Interesting.
Wow. Okay.
Now, obviously, this one's kind of like he's not really because they have Christian McCaffrey. There's a good chance that he may never touch the ball at all. But the reason why I pick him is because he has a really good shot to be their second running back, and with McCaffrey's workload in that offense, I feel like there's a possibility he could end up with an injury at some point, and this guy might be able to step in and get some points for you.
We have seen crazier things happen. Remember that one year where David Johnson was like the number one pick, and he just gets hurt week one, and he tanks.
Tragic,
he
bro.
tanked whoever picked him. So it's happened before. A top tier running back has gone down, and they didn't have a real reliable backup behind him. But Christian McCaffrey could easily tear his ACL this year. It could happen.
God, that's shitty. He's like, it could happen. God,
could happen.
But like, think about it. How many touches did Christian McCaffrey have last year?
700.
Right.
a shit ton.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And again, he might never like if you're gonna take him, it's got to be your last fucking pick in the draft. Like you're just like literally okay. At this point, whoever you take is probably not going to make a difference anyway. So he's got to be like your last pick.
He's your Mr. Irrelevant. Yeah, he's your
Right.
Mr. Irrelevant. Gotcha.
I got to be honest. I don't know if I would have came up with who the Panthers' backup running back was.
Me either.
You're welcome.
Never even thought about it. Oof.
Go ahead, Alex.
Again,
What's your
Trey,
pick this week?
don't get any ideas and steal my shit come auction time. Like,
Listen.
I'm not playing around.
I might not be able to pass with this one, and if I don't, I have some backups because this one's kind of shaky. But Ian Thomas.
He's the tight end for Carolina.
Does anyone know that? Because ever since Greg Olsen left, no one talked about Carolina's tight end.
It's okay. You can go with that one.
Yeah, because honestly, even though he's the tight end one, like no one knows who the fuck this guy is. He was practically irrelevant on the Panthers offense last year because of Greg Olsen. I mean, he's a new tight end one. Even though I don't really like Carolina's receiving core as far, there's going to be, I think everyone's going to get their touch, but I think Ian Thomas is going to be a part of that. I think he's going to end up getting some touches. He might get some receptions. He might get some touchdowns. You just never know in that Carolina offense. But I think Ian Thomas I think he's pretty good to, even for a who the fuck is that guy, you could probably draft him and he might actually be like a deep, 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 deep sleeper that works out for you.
Chad, do you have anything on Ian Thomas?
I genuinely don't know who that is, so no, I don't. I mean,
See?
what Alex said makes sense. I mean, the number one receiver in Carolina for the last couple of years was Greg Olsen. So, I mean, there's a void there. Those targets got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And, I mean, all that remains to be seen is whether or not this guy sucks. And I have no idea who he is. I've never seen him play a game, so I don't know.
Yeah, he went to college at Indiana. They more of a blocking tight end, but he can catch a little bit.
He might be a Jason Witten. He might just do a little, big, slow guy, but catches everything. Hope. I don't know.
All right, I'm going to say my guy and tell me what team you think he's on here. Not Carolina. Tyler Bass.
Tyler Bass, huh? Let me see.
Don't doing that.
Fuck. I don't know.
Houston?
No.
Jaguars.
No.
Nope. No idea.
Do you know what position he is?
Running back.
No.
Fuck. Kicker.
Yep.
Ah,
He is the Buffalo Bills kicker.
That doesn't count.
they've been doing kickers for the last couple weeks, and that's why I don't know any of them. I'm just like
That doesn't count because kicker's not a real position.
Listen,
I remember-
they're in fantasy, and it counts. The Bills drafted him out of Georgia Southern this year. He was at the Senior Bowl. He's the highest drafted kicker this year. I don't know. He hit some kicks at the Senior Bowl. Don't know a ton, but this is a Bills offense that we think should be better. Stephon Diggs gets added. Josh Allen gets into year 3. If they're scoring more points, Tyler Bass is a guy to keep in mind here.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll give you that. I think they're gonna. I think Buffalo's offense is gonna be rolling.
I can't acknowledge your pick because I hate kickers. So
same. I can't stand kickers. Nope.
I actually thought you were going to respond to one of my articles where I wrote about kickers, but you never did.
I didn't see it. So
Okay.
now I'm gonna go out of my way to find it and then respond to it now.
I wrote an article about how it's okay to overspend on kickers.
Absolutely not. No.
Yeah, thank you.
Not.
I actually hate that
by
idea.
the way, there was a large portion of the season last year because fucking Ben Roethlisberger got hurt. I had to start 2 kickers every week.
I'm gonna you know what?
Just keep that in mind.
You know what? Added topic. I'm gonna pull up.
I hate kickers more than I hate Ben Roethlisberger.
I'm gonna pull up that article right now. We're gonna talk about this.
Oh, look.
I think that it's okay to overspend on kickers, and as soon as I pull this article up, I will explain.
I had a friend. Oh, you were in this league, Trey. My friend Nick, one time in the league that you were in with me, took a kicker in the second round.
Okay, that's
in the snake draft.
Yeah,
is that what you're talking about?
No,
you're taking the kicker in the second round, Trey.
Well, I was playing with my brother one year, and he accidentally picked Sebastian Janikowski in the first round, and I was crying from laughter because he.
No. This kid did it on purpose, though.
He did it on purpose. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was funny because his first 3 picks. The first 3 rounds, he took Cam Newton, and I think it was in like 2005, so the Cam Newton pick actually really worked out for him. But he took Cam Newton. I don't know who the kicker was, but it might have been Gostkowski. And then he took his defense and special teams in the 3rd round. I was like, what are you doing?
Bro, I love people like that.
But because he picked Cam Newton in the 1st round, he made the playoffs. I don't remember exactly I know he didn't win the league, but he actually made the playoffs because Cam Newton was putting up fucking 30 points a game.
That's fucking
all right.
wild.
So I have my article here, right? And I'm not saying, obviously not crazy, but I have no problem if you overspend a little bit on a good kicker. And here's why. Over the last 4 years, Will Lutz has outscored Mason Crosby. And the point of this is I'm comparing a really good kicker to a good kicker or an average kicker. He's outscored Mason Crosby by 37.25 points per year. We're talking about 370 yards of production. A kicker is outscoring a kicker.
How many points was it?
37.25 points per year that Will Lutz is outscoring Mason Crosby. That's a lot. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but we're talking about like 370 yards.
That is 2 points a game.
But it's a lot.
I am not worried. I am not worried about 2 points from my kicker.
Okay, but how about this one? Now, this time I compared Harrison Butker, who is the Chiefs kicker, and he should be 1 or 2, 3, one of the best kickers in the league, to Steven Hauschka, who's been a middle-tier kicker or a kicker that is probably there if you're like, fuck, I'm the last guy to get a kicker. He has outscored Hauschka by 50 points a year. That's 500 yards. That's a lot.
Okay, so that's 3 points.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Look, I'm not saying that I'm not overpaying for a kicker. I'm going to put it out there. I'm not going to overpay for a kicker. I made a joke at our draft, our auction, and I didn't have to, but I stuck with it anyway, where you said the Baltimore's kicker,
Justin Tucker.
You said Justin Tucker. I made a joke. I said $2, and I had $2 on a kicker, and it was bad. I would not overpay for a kicker. No, I said 4, I think, or something.
No, you
like
said
that.
3. 3 it was.
3, yeah. I don't overpay for a kicker. It's not that though. It's not worth it. 3 points. I'd rather if it's in an auction draft, I'd rather take those extra $2 and bid to get any number of skill players that can help my team win, and I'm going to make up those 3 points plus more than if I didn't take that kicker. So I'm not overpaying for a kicker. I'm going to take those assets and put them into a better player. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
And you may outscore my kicker by 3 points for the season, but I'm going to outscore your wide receiver by 10 points because I have Julio Jones and you have Alshon Jeffrey.
I'm not saying you have to do it. I'm just saying it's okay to do it.
And I'm saying it's not okay. Don't listen to this man. He's fucking crazy. Don't do it.
Didn't you just say you respect his fantasy opinion? Oh, man.
It's okay.
Hey, I respect him in all things non-kicker related. He's obviously wrong here.
I don't agree with the kicker thing either. I'm on your side, Chad.
All right. That does it for this week. Do we have any closing thoughts here?
Don't overpay for kickers. That's my closing thought.
OnlyFans. OnlyFans.
Yeah, overpay on OnlyFans. That's the only place you want to overpay.
No, don't overpay on OnlyFans. No.
Make sure to leave
extra
tips.
terrible. That's terrible.
All right, that's going to do it for this week. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, Vendetta Sports Media. Until next time, we will see you soon.